All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Our Turf's Mock Draft NFL 2022 on a Wednesday night. Sorry about yesterday. We had some technical errors. Kate and I were having some thunderstorm issues. So we went ahead and moved the show to tonight so we could get some good, because we knew we had a lot to discuss. Joining me is, of course, my co-host, Cleveland Kate, who will join me. And we're going to do the top 10 tonight. Kate and I are going to go through the top 10 draft. Dana O'Gorman, our host, is in Vegas covering the draft for Our Turf Football. So hopefully we're going to have some great coverage for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can do a couple live spots with Dana. I know she said she's going to put up a lot of some video, and she'll be in the pit with the best of them tomorrow night doing that. Got a full boat going on tomorrow at Our Turf. I will be joining the Big O show live from Vegas. Tommy Rockers. Yep. Orlando Azagari is going to do the Dolphins and cover the draft. The Dolphins don't have a first round pick, but I will be joining Big O at 10 p.m. Eastern time for you guys. We'll be going live. So I'll be going with Our Turf Football with the Big O show from Tommy Rockers. So you guys, if you're out there in Vegas, hit him up.
Yeah, my Browns don't have a first-round draft pick either, and I thought about maybe I'll do a Twitter poll when we're done with the show on the Our Turf Twitter account and just ask people, if you don't have a first-round pick, are you watching? Are you into it and you want to know who everyone else is taking, or do you just watch the draft for your team, and if you don't have a first-round pick, you're not even going to watch the first round?
That's
I will.
And
I know you will.
And the thing about it is, Kate, is like any other sexy draft, you're always going to be like, well, will we trade to go back into the first round? This one, I have no hope that we're going to be trading to go back up.
No, I don't either. I'm not at all concerned that if I go to bed around pick 25 that I don't see any reason. And frankly, I don't know that the Browns have the capital to even trade and try to get back into the first round. They gave up that 13th overall pick to Houston as part of the Deshaun Watson deal. What did the Dolphins do to get rid of their pick?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill deal. Yeah. I knew this feels like the most teams that have had multiple picks in the first round that I can remember in a long time.
Yeah,
and quite a few.
And the teams that traded, like us, like you, it's almost like those players that we paid for, that's our pick. There's your pick. There's your pick. And
I felt that way the year that we got Odell Beckham Jr. because we traded our pick for him, and I'm like, all right, excellent. He's now my instead of that at number 8, I got Odell. He was the best player available at 8 or whatever the pick was that year. I don't know. There's Miss Sonia. We were only picked 13, and I haven't resigned myself to Deshaun Watson. It may end up being a genius swapping 13 for Deshaun and a whole lot of money. We'll see. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, guys.
Look at you flashing your sunny weather at us. We're in storm country.
Yes.
I like getting to do that now. That's kind of a cool thing.
Nice.
So we were just talking about like tomorrow night, what everybody's going to be doing. We got Dana in the pit is going to be coming up, hopefully do some live videos for us. Kate and I were just talking. We don't have picks in the first round, but I'm going to be doing some pod appearances tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Big O show, coming live from Vegas, Tommy Rockers. And you have the second round pick. So you're going to be
number 2.
I'm sure you're going to be glued to the TV. Number 2, number 2.
So
look, I'm giving your pick away.
It's literally anybody's game. Everybody, in my mind, everybody's game. But I think, I don't know. I've seen a lot. I've seen Aiden Hutchinson. I've seen Kenyon Thibodeau. I've seen Malik Willis. I've seen like a couple free safeties. So I literally have no idea what the Lions are going to do. They're going to surprise us, I'm sure.
Well, why don't we start with number 1? Let's talk a little bit about Jacksonville. And then, Sonia, you better start thinking, because Lisa and I are going to make you give us a name. We want you to be on the record with who you want or who you think they're going to do.
Okay.
So let's just start. Let's start with you. Jacksonville's on the clock. Who's Jags taking? Sonia, let's go. Start us off.
I'm not ready for the Jags, but they're going to take Kenyon Thibodeau. That's who they're going to take.
Kate, who do you have?
I looked long and hard at Jacksonville, and I think they shored up their offense a little more last year, and they really struggled on the defensive side. So I've got them taking Trayvon Walker out of Georgia.
Yeah,
defensive lineman.
I struggled with this because to me, the player they should take to me would be Ike Agwanu, the offensive tackle from New York, NC State. But I think they're going to take Trayvon Walker. I think they're going to take, I think it was between him and Aiden. And I just think the GM, Teddy, I think he likes his traits. He's got, some great skill. So I'm as well going to go with Trevor Walker as well. That brings us up to the Detroit Lions.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
Edge, Michigan. He's been hanging around. He's made lots of funky tweets. He, throughout the first pitch. And plus, I think he's somebody that's going to be a good help for our defense and get after the quarterback, because that's really what we need to do. Detroit needs to get after the quarterback. So Aiden Hutchinson, come on down to Detroit.
Okay.
I completely agree. Y'all had some field position issues last year, and you can fix some of that if you shore up the defense. And if he gets, like you said, if he gets after the quarterbacks, you guys are going to have a lot. Your offense will have an easier time next year. He's exactly who I thought you'd be taking.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus, he's at Michigan now, right?
Right. He's hanging out, and he's from Michigan. I think they're from
right.
So yeah.
Is he a junior, senior? Did he do all 4 years?
He did all 4.
He's a senior.
Nice.
He's a senior. Yeah, he's a senior. I have them taking Aiden Hutchinson unless the Jags go offensive tackle. Then I have them taking Trayvon Walker. I think they'll take Walker over Hutchinson if the Jags pass on him. Right now, I'm not expecting the Jags to pass on Walker, so I've got Hutchinson as well penciled in for the Detroit Lions. Which brings us to Houston Texans. Now, here's where I guessed. I don't know if you guys did, but this is where I guessed. And I have them going with Ike Agwanu, the NC State offensive tackle. I think since they committed to David Mills, and I think they need to shore up the line for him. So that's who I got penciled in. And like I said, I know a lot of people have him going defense here, but I struggled with Evan Neal here, but I just think Ike has a little bit upside for them. So that's who I got for them.
And I picked Evan Neal. I like Evan Neal better. I think he fits in better with the protections that they're going to need to do to give Mills. And I have them going offensive line and Evan Neal.
So I get to be the tiebreaker. Evan Neal. I think,
all right.
I think they're going to build. I think they're building. And I think, got to start off with that line and protect their quarterback. So yeah, Evan Neal, let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So now we got the New York Jets, who will have 2 top 10 picks here. So we're going to hit the first one at pick 4. I have Sauce Gardner, the cornerback, going here from Cincinnati. I struggled with Stingley here, but I think that they need a big guy. This kid's a good sized cornerback, and I think with Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddles, and now Tyreek Hill in the AFC East, I think they're going to pull the trigger on Sauce Gardner. Kate?
If Kayvon Thibodeau is still available, this is where I think he goes. I think they need an edge rusher. And if he's gone, I think they still need an edge rusher. I think they go Jermaine Johnson. There's enough wide receiver and tight end and that kind of depth that they're going to save that second pick for an offensive playmaker, but I think they have to get an edge rusher. So it's going to be one of those two. If Thibodeau's gone, they're going to go Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State.
Okay.
That's a very good one. But I'm like Lisa, I'm lost in the sauce. I think I think that's who they're going to go with. Like you said, for the same reasons, essentially, because I think that, the AFC East is really starting.
They got some stout wide receivers going on.
Exactly. So, yeah, lost in the sauce. Let's get it.
Lost in the sauce. So 2 out of 3 of us. All right. Next up is the New York Giants. Man, I'll tell you what, I struggled here, guys. I struggled. So I'm going to let you guys go first, Kate or Sonia, whoever wants to take this one, because I struggled.
Yeah, on my mock, Ahmad Gardner, the sauce out of Cincinnati, is still available at 5, and I've got him going to the New York Giants.
Okay.
As much as they need offensive line help, I think, the top guys on the line are going to be gone in Neal and Ekwonu. So I think they're going to have to go corner, and they're going to go with Sauce Gardner. If he's still available. If not, they're just not even going to make a pick. There's no one left for them to take.
Okay.
You think there's
All right, Sonia, who you got penciled in there?
I really don't have anybody penciled in for these guys because I just, for whatever reason, I don't know how they're gonna go, and I don't know. But I'm thinking line again to kind of protect their quarterback this year. But I'm thinking offensive line, and I'm thinking Icky. I think right. That's his name. Yeah.
Icky.
I think there's a lot of these teams that either Evan, Neal, or Icky, whichever one is still there, if you can get that need an offensive lineman here in this top 5. But I think both of those guys are going to be gone before we get to 6.
All right. I went Charlie Cross here. I think, he was more coming up as a pass blocker, but I think he's going to surprise a lot of people with his run game. So I penciled Charlie Cross in here, the offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. So that's kind of who I penciled in. And now we're going to go to number 6, the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh.
And I have Charlie Cross falling to them.
Okay.
I have him as the best, at what he does. If New York passes on him, Carolina absolutely needs some help on that line. Whether they have Sam Darnold, whether they go after Baker, I don't know what they're going to do at the quarterback position, but they need to be better protecting whoever it is they end up with under center.
Agreed. And that's going to be my pick as well because for the reasons. And plus, even if they do get rid of Darnold, like you said, they're going to have to
protect somebody.
Right, exactly. And I like building in the trenches. That's just a me thing. I just, that's start. So yeah.
I do too. And I have to think, if you're a quarterback and it's the off season and you're looking to sign somewhere, maybe Carolina isn't the hot spot you want to go, but they get a guy like, if they can come up with Charlie Cross or one of these other big names, you're like, okay, they're seriously committed to protecting me. Maybe I feel a little bit better about going there.
Okay.
I agree. I can see that.
Hear me out. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Lord.
Because I went rogue here. I went totally rogue.
Lisa?
I did. I did
$5 that she went quarterback at 7.
I did. I pulled the trigger, and here's why I pulled the trigger. It is very well known they're looking for a quarterback. Okay, now we already all talked about Malik. We talked about Kenny. We talked about Matt. We talked about all the kind of the second tier group, Desmond Ryder. My issue is a lot of these quarterbacks, we're talking about second, third rounds. My problem with the Carolina Panthers is if they don't make a trade, they don't pick until day 3. So here's my mindset. If you are looking at Malik or if you're looking at Kenny, because I have Kenny or Malik going here, I just pulled the trigger and I put Malik. I think you want that strong quarterback. I think he's the strongest in the quarterback. I think he can still sit a year behind Darnold until they build up that trench. But that's my reasoning with going rogue here is they don't have a pick till day 3. And I really think they kind of want one of these quarterbacks. So I think they're going to pull the trigger, and I think it's going to be Malik. So I went rogue. I went quarterback, and that's my reason.
That's just Lisa. We love her.
That's just me. And now that brings us back to the New York Giants on the clock. I personally think the Giants are going to trade this pick to get more picks, but that's just me. But Kate, I took your guy Kevin Thibodeau here for them as an edge rusher. So that's who I went at Oregon. I got them going line, then defense. So that's who I pulled the trigger here for them at that point.
Yeah, I have them going defense again with whoever's still left on the board. If Trayvon Walker's still available, if just depending, I penciled in Trayvon Walker because he was the best left on my list based on who I thought was going to be already gone. I just see them going corner and then D-line for these 2 picks because they're so close together if they don't trade out of this one. So I got Trayvon Walker here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they trade as well. Because I mean, they still have some decisions to make, and especially with their quarterback. So I think they're going to trade out of this spot and to be able to get more capital, because that's what they need. They just need picks right now.
And it's a good place for them to do that, because they've already picked at 5, so they got the top guy on their board, and now from 7 you can move down maybe even 10 or 12 spots and still get a nice quality addition for your team, and maybe get some more picks for somebody who's hot to get that guy that's going to be still sitting there at 7. Depending on how the first ones go, it's a very big possibility they trade down.
You think Walker's going to fall that far, though? Trayvon, you think?
I do.
I don't know. I just don't see him falling that far. He is. I don't know. So
I don't feel like anyone before this pick, anyone before 7, I don't feel like any of those people are willing to trade. They need too much help on the defense or the offensive line that they're going to make their picks 1 through 6. 7 is where I see the trade starting to happen. So if he's not still sitting there, that's why I say it's very plausible that somebody else wants him.
Right,
and they
but it's going
trade
to be off a rumor. It's going to be off of a rumor, or somebody who gets scared because the guy that they kind of really want is either going to be rumored. Because, again, this is not a sexy draft. This is not a draft where you're going to give up.
We suckered the Bears into moving up for Mitch Trubisky a few years ago. A really well-placed rumor can do a lot for you.
You can do it. It can be done.
Throwing out the first pick at a baseball game may make people want to trade up to 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right, that brings us to the Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. Sonia, I didn't go rogue here. I almost did, but I didn't. But so I'll let you guys go ahead.
You're gonna let me go.
I'll let you do this.
I'm thinking they're taking the kid out of Florida State. I think they're gonna take him.
Okay. Jermaine,
yeah.
Jermaine Johnson, Florida State edge rusher.
Yes. They can get after Brady.
They need to put points on the board.
Yes,
this is where I've got my first wide receiver going. Garrett Wilson out of the Ohio State University is going to Atlanta. They need to their offense needs to put points on the board in that division, and they're going wide receiver.
This position screams wide receiver to me for them, especially losing Calvin Ridley. I went Jamison Williams though, the big kid out of Alabama.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to, he
blocks better than Garrett does. I'll admit it. He blocks better than Garrett does.
It's a glaring need, and I think they did a lot of work on him. So that's where I got my first wide receiver going too, off the board. So now that brings us to Seattle Seahawks are on the clock. I think this is like the first time Seattle's been on the clock in the first round like this.
It's high.
If they stay here. So, but I'll start this one off because this is my most favorite kid in the draft. Is Derek Stingley Jr. I love this kid at cornerback. I think this is one of the best kids in this draft. And like I said, it'd be. I know Pete Carroll likes his edge rushers, and I know that would be a nice pick here, but I just don't think I don't think the Seahawks pass on this kid if he's still on the board at number 9. So I got him penciled in. To me, he's the most talented cornerback in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and I have him going too. The Seahawks need to get back to when their defense was fierce, and this is the kind of kid you can build that around, that he can be the guy that's going to be on your team running that for the next 10 years. I have Stingley going to Seattle at just right where you do.
Same. Yeah. All the same reason. Okay. Because
is this the only one we've all agreed on? Is this the first one we've all picked the same person?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. It only took 9 picks for us to come to an agreement on something?
Well, I think it's been split because, like I said, I think that the Jags are going to start the tone. The Jaguars are going to start the tone for all of us. Then number 10, we'll top off our 10 picks for the round tonight. The New York Jets are back on the clock. So could be another trade potential spot. Jets could trade down to pick up some more. If there's a rumor or somebody wants to vault up to that spot. Yes. And we talked about wide receiver here, Kate. Where we started coming off the board. And we talked to that with Emory about when you start seeing one play, like the run come. I think this is where we start seeing some wide receivers come off the board. Like I said, we have Diggs, we have Waddle, we have Hill. They're going to have to compete. I got them taking Drake London, the USC wide receiver, because like I said, I think it's a huge need.
Are you peeking at my card?
No, yeah.
No, you got it too?
I've got Jameson Williams and Drake London neck and neck for this one.
Okay.
Because on my list are the next two available, but I'm with you. They went defense with the other pick. They're going wide receiver. If they don't trade out, they're going to go wide receiver just like the Giants do on this pick. And I've got either Drake London or Jameson Williams, whoever's still available when they get there.
Especially when they tried to trade these picks to try to pick up Metcalf.
Yeah,
I believe was it Metcalf from the Seattle.
DK.
So DK. So I still think a wide receiver is what Joe's looking for. Joe Douglas, the GM. So he'll pick it out if he doesn't trade down. Like I said, if we don't see that wide receiver run, kind of makes me wonder if he won't trade out of there, because you'll still have if they don't take our wide receivers that you and I kind of think the run will go from here, you might see them trade down. If like I said, it's not a sexy draft. It's hard for me to make trades in this draft right now. But that rounds off our top 10. I thought that was pretty easy. We only agreed on one spot.
That's very.
I know, which isn't bad, and I think we mostly have the same 10 players going. We just argued, different about when and where they go.
I asked my draft expert what he fell asleep on the draft. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. The only person that we really haven't talked about is Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame at the safety position. He is somebody who you could very easily swap in for one of these corner or edge rushers that we have picked earlier. He is a really high quality kid and a really talented safety. And so he's really the only one that I don't have in my top 10 that if his name gets called, I won't be surprised.
And we always got to remember this. Camden put on it's Jordan Davis no matter what, right?
See my tweet today? I found the video that I did on draft night 5 years ago with my Myles Garrett no matter what sticker that I made. I was holding up my picture. I'm like, 5 years, happy anniversary.
It shows that it sounds like Debo might also be intrigued. I don't know, would the 49ers trade a Debo to the Seattle Seahawks? I don't see an individual trade there. I think they'll trade them out, because we got Debo on the board, we got Mayfield still there. So I mean, you got to think that some of those are going to be coming into discussion. Wow. I think honestly, Ken, I think they're asking too much for Debo. I don't think you're going to get anybody to give up.
I don't know. There's some personal issues going on between him and the team. They need to move him. I don't know that they worry as much about interdivision as we do, but this is one of those situations where if there's beef, like I'm hearing, you don't want him in the division because he's going to be coming at you extra hard twice a year. So, you know what I mean?
NFC West has some beef.
You know what? They do have some beef. So,
they do.
The 49ers just want too much. I don't know. We'll see. That's an interesting one that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. It'll be interesting to see where he lands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like I said, I thought we did that fairly well. And like I said, we're finished up. Like I said, you guys, we're gonna have Dana in Las Vegas. We're gonna try to do some live spots with her. Hopefully, it just depends on how crazy it is in the pit for her tomorrow. Like I said, she's gonna have a blast. So we're excited that our turf football's there. Like I said, I'll be on the Big O show coming live from Tommy Rockers at 10. Doing some draft stuff and seeming to get some surprises. And next week's show should be a blast, because we're going to see how we did, because I got my list and we'll see. Because you know what, we could be blown out of the water. Because like I said,
you know what, you should, if you wrote them down what we picked, I was about to go watch. I was going to watch the replay when we're done, and then tweet out our picks so that we are on the record with this is who we each picked.
Yeah, I have them all written down.
1 through 10. So if you've got them, let's tweet them out. I'll own mine. I'll own every one of mine. But I think we all agree that the Giants and the Jets are very possibly willing to trade their second picks.
One of those picks.
They'll make their first choice and they'll trade out for their second one. Giants might trade 5 since they pick again at 7, but I think the Jets are absolutely picking at picking early, their early one. They might trade their later one.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we all have that cornerback, right? Except for you, Kate. I think you went somewhere else. I think you went edge on that one.
I went edge on that one.
Yeah, we went the sauce and you went on the edge and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I think we kind of differed.
But we all love the sauce. Everybody loves the sauce. There's going to be
But I
sauce
just want to
for.
go on record. Panthers are going rogue. So if they,
You're the
if they
only one with the quarterback, Lisa. I got Malik. I got Ritter going at 16 and Malik going at 26.
Yeah.
If we were going to do the full
All
round.
right.
I don't have a quarterback going until 16.
All right. Yeah.
Again, unless someone trades up, you could have a quarterback going at what 7 or 5, 7 or 9 with those Giants and Jets picks. If somebody wants a quarterback and they start to get a little worried, they might.
And that's why I pulled the trigger,
one
because I think the Panthers want a quarterback, and I don't think the top 3 quarterbacks on my list will be available 3 and 4 rounds. So I think that's why they did it. I think
No,
I guess
they'll go early 2 at the latest, but I've got 2 going in the first. But even if they don't, they will not be there for the 3rd round. You're right. Carolina can't wait till the 3rd round. And if they try to start sniffing around and make a move, even to go up into the late 1st, early 2nd, people are going to know why. They're going to know they're going after a quarterback, and then they're going to take them.
Yeah, it's going to be great. All right, guys, we are done. That is all for tonight. Please join us next Tuesday. We'll have our after draft party. And like I said, please follow us on Twitter at Our Turf Football. We're going to have full coverage of everything tomorrow. All of us will be tweeting.
So you can be tweeting like a fool tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, ladies. Great job. We'll check you guys all next week.
Bye.
Have a happy draft, everybody.
Merry draft.